is red, Frenzy is blue, and...
Hi all, Silver's here. Welcome all to... Hello?
Oh, hey, SilverGamer? What are you doing in my intro? Not that I'm complaining or anything. It's nice to have someone around after so much time alone here.
Well, I was going to review Titan Master Repugnus for an obligatory Halloween special, and it seemed YouTube screwed up again and somehow mixed the videos. Because that's how it works. Yeah.
Oh man. As if the kid apocalypse and the YouTube algorithm weren't trying to strangle our channels already. You know, I have to wonder if everyone working at Google and YouTube is secretly a roid mute in disguise.
That would make way too much sense. So yeah, going back to the video topic. Monster about Repugnus, double Halloween special, now!
Wait, right. Halloween episode. Need a change of costume real quick.
Wait, what? I'm just a pair of hands. Yes, now it matches.
Come back to me after the theme song. Oh, right. And I'm here with SilverGamer for a Halloween review. The dry cleaner was quick pressing this thing. Yes. Okay then, we're ready to go now.
So, do we start the review with the deluxe?
Yes, but I think a quick history lesson is in order first.
You already went over that in episode 14. And you missed the repaint Repugnus in that lesson.
Oh shoot, that's right. Anyways, when Titan's Return rolled around, we had two of the monster bots released. Twinferno, formerly known as Double Cross, and Grotesque, formerly known as Grotesque. Seriously, it's a pun for a name. How do you lose copyright on that?
Actually, it's a reference to rock carvings that resemble horrible misshapen monsters.
Okay, good point. Sorry I missed that, but I can't remember the last Grotesque. Nor do I think anyone can remember the last Grotesque that they saw that looked like the spawn of a Tyrannosaurus Rex, Smog, and of course, a hairless gerbil.
Well, you are right here.
Technically everyone except for Repugnus had a pun for a name, so guess that really bugged him.
Let's get back on track.
Repugnus is a repaint/retool of Titan's Return Twinferno here. And both of them are looking fairly grand. However, Repugnus looks much better than Twinferno with his broad yellow chest and big red brassiere with optional samurai horns. Speaking of his chest, or rather the torso in general, it is entirely remolded from Double Cross/Twinferno and Grotesque. The only parts of this figure that weren't remolded from the other ones were the feet, the ankles, and the hips and thighs. Though speaking of, I have to ask, if there's already molded white plastic on the figure, why are the thighs painted white and molded yellow? Why wouldn't you save a little bit on the budget, which could go into, like, painting his crotch or, waist, whatever you want to call this? It's kind of barren and it distracts a little, is all I'm saying. You could have used this paint budget to, paint this bit up here and, I don't know, maybe back here?
Other remolded parts are the arms and the bug head on the back instead of the wings. Sadly, that's it. The legs, feet are the same as Double Cross. It feels really weird to see fur on a robot that turns into a bug.
Well, tarantulas have fur, do they not?
Yeah, they do. The details on the head are pretty spot on to the box art of the G1 toy. He has those small green eyes. Oh yeah, also his head is a smaller robot.
The Titan Master that comes with the Deluxe is named Dastard, and possesses the ability to erase short-term memory. The head's lips also look a tad too feminine for my tastes. It's like he wants to kiss me.
You are a very damaged man, and I don't pity you the least. I wouldn't agree here. The painted details make his animalistic snout pop out more. Ain't he just the cutest? And if you wonder why is he a furry, there's a simple explanation for that.
Dastard is based off of Hedgehog, and I'm suddenly wondering if this was foreshadowing how IDW would one day produce Sonic the Hedgehog comics and Transformer comics.
Known as Prickly Porcupine in the USA. By the way, in Japan, Battle Beasts were named Beastformers, and it was treated as a subline of Transformers. I think Hasbro wanted this storyline to fail by cutting it out from the chicken that lays golden eggs. Dastard, though, is mostly ball joints on his arms and 2 hinges in his legs. Oh yeah, he also came with Solus Prime in a special version. She has the same articulation as Dastard, but it's probably here just so he can be a part of the Power of the Primes series. Sadly, we never got any cards explaining what powers would she give to Repugnus. But I think it's good, since giving powers to create anything to a robot that is so psycho that even Dinobots fear him is not a good idea.
Now then, instead of folding up into a head, Zillow's Prime folds up into a lump with a symbol and copious amounts of light piping. However, I seem to have misplaced that, and since I never exactly got an Optimus Primal with a Matrix of Leadership core thingy, I can't show it to you. So it's up to me to go and steal my brother's. What? That thing was electricity based. What do you mean it devastated my enemy's spleen? Ugh, God, that hurts. Anyways, Silver, you take it over now. Ugh.
And I thought I had family issues. So, while Double Cross was partying with the Deluxe's class, the Titan Returns Repugnus needed to be happy with being part of Wave 4 in the Titan Master size class. He was released alongside Shuffler, and while everybody went crazy over the mammoth tank, it seems nobody cared about the not-so-big bad Beetle Boy. And there is a reason. He kinda sucks. His normal toy has almost no paint. I needed to add all the silver bits myself. He's still missing some paint like the brown of his lower jaw. Repugnus's drone can transform from a standing bag into a laying down bag. Jesus Christ, Hasbro, why don't you just make the wave just Shuffler? He can also transform into a shield, maybe? Some laser gun? That can be held by any the Fig due to the 5-minute report under his head, which is what I would say if the port wanted to stay. It constantly flops around. But since the Titans return, the fun doesn't stop here. Boys, the little Titan Master Repi can attach himself to any deluxe and up transformer, forming a head based on his appearance in the Headmasters anime. In lore, it's supposed to give any transformer a Data Chief ability. Why a psychopathic bug has the ability to commit a Zuckerberg? I don't know. Here's Repugnus mounted on his deluxe class toy, which by the way is my preferred way of displaying. I'm not a fan of the toy accurate beady eyes, even though they kinda don't match since yellow on Titan Master is painted and not molded. Repugnus next to his wavemate Shuffler, Repugnus next to Deluxe Class Repugnus, and Repugnus next to Titan Master Dastard, and Repugnus next to my boy Magazine Bumblebee. Titan Master Rep is okay. Thank God he's now shelf-warming everywhere as hell, so if you see him cheap, go and snag that bag. Hey Bite, are you alive, or can I take all of your stuff?
Yeah, aside from the burning pain in my spleen, sure, I'm good. Okay, I'm good now. Time for the transformation, anyway.
In his bug mode, Repugnus's chest springs out a pair of claws, and all stuff just kinda clamps together. His arms go on his back, they just sit there. Legs also close, and they just sit there. If you can pick those bastards in! I hate this weird slide-in half-square system.
Yeah, you'd kind of figure after a year and a half of owning a figure, you'd have its transformation down to a T, but those legs do not want to hold together all that well, and neither do these legs want to hold on well to the size of the figure. I mean, I've had this mold twice over, and it's had this exact same problem both times. It can't just be me, can it? The one thing I am kind of glad they ditched for this version of the figure is the tail. Goodness knows that would have looked awkward on an insect, but instead it creates a fearlessly flexible bug with some frightfully fearsome claws. The integration that you're going to get on this figure comes in the form of the pegs on the back. You just plug the feet in here, and bam, he looks like he's riding Repugnus's beast mode into battle. Charge, my noble steed! Oh yeah, did I mention this beast mode really reminds me of a cross between Mega Gyrus and Megalon? No, actually, scratch that. It reminds me of a version of one of the worms from Kamen Rider Kabuto, if Kamen Rider Kabuto had been made during the Showa period.
Well, the pre-production pics showed that his claws could also go outside, but that was nerfed in the final product. Unless you use a nail pile to scrub the corners from the hinges. By the way, Repugnus's jaw can also move, so he can go like... And I find it so charming, but I'm always down for a robot with a movable jaw. So Fire, what are your final thoughts?
Overall, I think Repugnus is amazing. Sure, he's not the best figure around, but I still love him all the same. He's got an awesome color scheme. He comes from one of my favorite parts of Generations, which is the bit where they don't rely on G1 as the public remembers it, but go for the obscure bits like G1.5, and comes out with a perfectly articulated and amazingly designed robot that casts off the conceit of robots in disguise and instead goes for a giant Tyrannosaurus cockroach. Though perfect he is not, that didn't stop him from being my #1 pick for my top 12 Transformers of 2018. Even though I kinda lost numbers 12 to 7 on the list, but considering the fact that I didn't even edit my videos back then, that may actually be for the best.
I personally like Repugnus, even though it feels bad that 2 out of 3 members of a team were released only in some weird special sets. Also, I had some quality control stories about Reppy. Like, Repugnus of my friend came with 2 dastards, and my first dastard legs were really bent, so he always stood out to the right. So, thank you for joining me in this Halloween and our review of a Bug Boy. Have a happy and safe Halloween, and viewers, remember to like, subscribe, ring the bell, see my channel, and like all of the stuff. Bye!
No, SilverGamer, thank you. You are too kind for joining me on this Halloween review extravaganza. And as for the rest of you, have a happy Halloween.